Hey everybody, welcome to No Seas Mamonas. This is Bookie,
I'm Jazz.
And I'm Sin.
and in today's topic, we're going to be discussing something a little bit not so fun, not so um I don't know the word that you would call it, but I just want to let you guys know that this is for educational purpose and informational purposes only. The discussion of today may include sensitive topics such as child abuse, neglect, and just kind of the signs to look for. Your discretion is advised, especially for those who may be triggered by those topics. And I just want to point out that we are not licensed therapists, counselors, or legal professionals. But if you do suspect a child is being abused or neglected, please contact your local child protective services. But if you do contact your child protective services office, make sure that they are not false claims. You can also contact law enforcement or a trusted professional immediately. This episode is a safe space for awareness, support, and maybe prevention. The goal is to inform and not diagnose or replace professional help. We just kind of want to discuss a little bit of what we think on certain topics. Okay, so this is a topic that's very Cynthia is she's really fond of this topic just because she really strongly believes that, children shouldn't be abused and neglected, and also because it's, she has kids, and I think that she puts herself in that situation.
Yeah.
Also Jazz as well, but I think Cynthia was the one that really wanted to discuss this
Yes,
Yes.
topic.
yes.
It's
Okay.
just, should you trust your kids with an adult that is not the parent? Like, I don't know. It's just a trip.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's definitely crazy. I don't trust anybody with my kids. So,
Nor do
my
I.
mom is the only one.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
my
trust
mom's the only
anybody.
one that I would let watch my kids. My sister, very occasionally, very occasionally. But yeah, I don't really trust anybody.
My mother
Mhm.
has only been the one to watch my kids, or Polly. That's it.
Hmm. Yeah. See, that's like, it's so hard nowadays because we have like the stigma of like women have to go to work, but then you have cases like this, like situations like this where like stuff happens to kids, and then like the mom had to either go to work, you know what I mean? So it's really shameful that people sit back and talk crap about stay-at-home mothers, when I feel like that is the biggest responsibility, because we do
Yeah.
make sure that our kids are safe and we know where they're at all
Yeah,
times.
and that's not even talked about enough, to be honest. Because man, once you like, I don't know, it's hard to trust anybody around your kids.
Very hard.
It is. Yeah, so what we're talking about is we're speaking about the specific topic right now, about how the 13-year-old boy that ended up going with the coach and I guess was murdered. You know, we started off talking about that, and I guess that's kind of how we're at right now, where we're speaking about not trusting
Yeah.
anybody with your kids. So I'm gonna go ahead and go. Um, I'm gonna play the clip that we just watched a little while ago. Give me a second here. Let's see. Alrighty, so I'm
Okay.
gonna go ahead and play it now, and then ooh, hold up, huh? And I think we can only go on for 30 minutes. So I'll if it goes past the 30 minutes, I'll end it and then I'll start again, because I don't know why it's doing that. But hold on, I'm gonna go ahead and play it, guys.
Justice to this family.
But first, breaking news, LA's DA charges a soccer coach with murder in the death of a 13-year-old boy. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Pat Harvey.
And I'm Juan Fernandez. These new charges come a week after 13-year-old Oscar Omar Hernandez was reported missing and then found dead in Oxnard.
And KCAL's Luz Delia Caballero is live in downtown LA, where investigators just wrapped up a press conference where they said they are now looking for additional victims. Luz Delia.
That's right, and this is only the beginning into a likely lengthy investigation. We are talking about a soccer coach that now authorities believe has also been involved in other incidents. We earlier talked to the family of the 13-year-old boy who obviously wants more answers. They understand that these answers won't bring their beloved son back, but it will bring them closer to that closure they so desperately need. We want to show you the 43-year-old man that the district attorney says is responsible for the death of 13-year-old Oscar Omar Hernandez. 43-year-old soccer coach Mario Garcia Aquino has been charged with murder in connection to the death of this 13-year-old boy found dead in Oxnard. The timeline, they say that on March 28th, he was actually killed in Lancaster. That's where they believe his soccer coach Mario Garcia Aquino lives. LAPD says 13-year-old Oscar Omar Hernandez was reported missing Sunday. His family telling us the teen actually boarded a Metrolink train to meet his coach in Lancaster, but the boy never returned, and only limited messages were sent from Oscar's phone to family members until it went completely dark. Oscar Omar's body was found last.
Okay, I'm gonna say something right there. I think we all agree is a little problematic,
Yeah.
right? He boarded a freaking what? What did he
Like a
right to
Metrolink?
go over there?
Like a metro, yeah.
Metrolink? Okay, Cynthia, you have a
Yes.
13-year-old son. What if he was like, "Hey, mom, I'm gonna go on the Metrolink to see my coach
70
from
miles
like
away.
another," you know what I mean?
Nope. Hell to no, I
Right?
would not allow it.
I would be like, for what?
Let,
Excuse me?
let alone
We can
be,
all go have lunch together? No.
Right?
If that's the
let,
case,
yeah, let alone let him go with a whole grown ass person by himself 70 miles away. No, that's not happening. Nope.
yeah, I
But,
wouldn't have.
But he's the coach, mom. But he's the
but
coach. The
you
fuck
got
he
me
is. I don't give a
fucked up.
fuck. He could be the mayor.
You ain't
He ain't
going
going.
nowhere.
He could be the mayor.
He ain't going.
Huh?
She said, I don't give a fuck. He could
He
be
could
the
be the
mayor.
mayor.
You ain't going nowhere.
You ain't
See,
going.
no, I wouldn't allow it. Would you?
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and play.
Just hell
I don't
no.
know.
I
Oh,
wouldn't, no.
no. All right,
This
okay.
Wednesday on the side of the road in Oxnard in a remote area near McGarth State Beach. And this was, of course, a joint operation with multiple agencies to include the FBI. The family just now wanting answers at this point. We have not been told the cause of death and what circumstances led up to his death, though District Attorney Nathan Hodgman says justice will be served. Take a listen.
It doesn't happen overnight. You have to actually go through all the different parts of an investigation before you ever get to an arrest warrant. You know, we want, in every single case, we want justice to be as speedy as possible, but we got to get it right. And we have to make sure that at the time we end up charging someone, we have the evidence to prove it. So when we filed and got the arrest warrant on the earlier case, he was actually arrested, and unfortunately he had committed this case as well.
I was in shock. I didn't believe it because, you know, I just saw him like on that same week. He was a good person. He was really funny. He was sweet. He always had a smile on his face.
And those were his friends speaking out at the vigil. Just a heart-wrenching situation here. If convicted, Aquino could be facing the possibility of parole for murder. We're talking about life without the possibility of parole up to the death penalty. We will continue to see if we can talk to the family here who is still inside at the press conference that's actively going on. Reporting live from downtown Los Angeles, Luz Delia Caballero, KCAL News.
All right, let us know if you do, Luz Delia. Thank you. And our live stream coverage continues with KCAL News assignment editor Mike Rogers at the desk.
That's right. And Mike, you have been looking into this alleged 2024 case.
Yeah, so, you know, we started looking into this last week when we started to hear rumors that the suspect had been taken into custody. And you're right, it was for that February 2024 case. And I want to show you some images of the suspect again that was at the press conference today. And while we talk about that, Sheriff Robert Luna, as well as the DA's office, says this happened February 22nd of 2024. The sheriff says the suspect,
And he looked
Oh my
crazy,
Yeah.
God.
huh?
Just look at the difference in the pictures. I'm like, oh my God, he looks so scary. What the hell's wrong with him?
Okay, go back to what he has
Oh
said.
my
Okay, he
god.
could face like the possibility of life with a life without parole or the death penalty, right?
Or
Um,
up to the death penalty, yeah.
Hmm.
okay, to me, I think everybody that has abused a kid or whatever should get the death penalty because they're never gonna change.
Well, he didn't just abuse,
He killed
like it
them.
was his life, you know? Yeah, so that
Yeah,
should
he
be like
killed
the
them.
death penalty right away. Like, what the
I
fuck?
I will feel like I will feel like way better if they were to get to get the death penalty. To be honest,
Yeah.
I don't know, but that's just my thoughts, and I've always thought like that because they're never gonna change.
No, they're
People like
not.
that are never gonna change.
Well, obviously, look, he has another case from 2024, like in
Yep.
February. Like that was almost a year ago. So just imagine like how many other cases he has, you know?
But
There's too
wouldn't you
many.
think that the cops like would still have a eye on him or something like that?
Yeah, that's crazy. At least like
If
keep
you
tabs on him, huh?
Yes, if you he's already accused of that, and he's still around children.
Yeah, being a coach, what the hell? That's
Yep.
Exactly.
crazy.
So so that's why I think it's so important that when you make claims of something happening, you make sure that they're for real and you're not just like bull crapping because I feel like it is hard to know, to distinguish which is real and which one, which one isn't, which one is
Yeah.
just a person trying to like, what I mean, gain something off of it, and then like a person who's actually a victim. Like that's why like it sucks that people lie
Yep.
so much about stuff like that because it's like look at when it's a real thing and it's a real thing that happens, like everybody's kind of like, like the system doesn't like
Yes.
it's flawed, really, if you think about
Yep.
it.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Okay,
It's
we could
crazy.
continue. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay, you guys want
let's
me to
keep
play it?
hearing that one here.
Befriended a family that had a 16-year-old son, likely through his soccer programs that we have mentioned as him being a coach for a traveling soccer team. The DA and the sheriff accuse him.
When he
I
said traveling
know.
coach, if you
Oh,
guys
Yes.
haven't watched it, Jazz was like,
yeah,
Exactly.
what?
traveling.
Traveling.
He was not dumb. He knew what he was doing.
Yep.
That's
Mhm.
Right
crazy.
there of assaulting
Mhm.
that 16-year-old boy. The exact charge is assault with intent to commit rape. Now,
Okay, he does look kind of
Yeah,
crazy now
look
that
at
I look
Look
at
at
it.
his
him.
face. Look at that
Even
comb
in his other
over.
picture, he does look
Is
crazy.
that comb over? Yup.
Yeah. Ugh.
It has to
Weirdo,
really
we
be.
dude.
asked
Mhm.
Weirdo.
Yeah, he does.
why the
Mm-mm.
time between February 2024 and now did it take for them to file charges in that case? That's where you heard him say, this is what it takes. We have to make sure we get everything right. Things don't always happen overnight. One thing I do want to point out, you guys, when we were going through the court records here for this 2024 case, you heard the DA, if you watched the news conference a little while ago, you heard the DA reference that they got a warrant and then were able to place him under arrest. The warrant was not applied for and he was not taken into custody until the day the boy's body was found. Now, the sheriff of the LAPD said that while sheriff's detectives were investigating that alleged 2024 assault, that's when they started communicating with Foothill detectives, learning about the missing persons case. That's how robbery homicide got involved in this. But again, that February 2024 alleged sexual assault of that 16-year-old boy was not filed on. The arrest warrant was not filed for until they found this boy's body last week, guys.
Well, hopefully this stops,
Mm-mm.
Mike, and there
Yeah.
won't be any more victims. But I'm sure they're asking for others to come forward if they have
Absolutely.
been victimized by
Yep.
this person. Thank you, Mike.
Have you ever wondered why
And I hope more people do come forward.
Have you ever
I
wondered why
hope
what?
people do come forward and, do like, because that's hard. It's hard to come forward, but sometimes it's easier for someone when someone else already, like, well, he didn't come forward, right? But whatever
Yeah.
happened, he's going to help others, like, come forward about what he did to them.
Exactly.
Because if he was a
Mhm.
traveling coach, dude, he was everywhere. He was all over.
He was
That's
everywhere. Like,
Yeah.
there's got to be different kids,
How
and that's the 2024 one. Okay. The
yeah,
other one
that's
let's go to the
okay.
other one.
My thing is this, like how Like, if you okay, so like for I know because I wanted to do like the lunch duties, not like the noon aid
Uh-huh.
type of stuff, right? At my kid's school at one point, and it's like a process
Yeah,
that you have to go through, right? Like you have to get like fingerprinted and like all that
Yeah.
kinds of crap, right? But you hear about like all like
yep,
the Boy Scouts, like the coaches, the Boys and Girls Club. Like, why are these people just allowing just, how you say Tom, Dick, and Harry to just sign up for anything that has to do with
exactly.
being around children? Like, how? Like, how does that happen? Like, how? Like,
Without
how?
checking
Yeah.
records.
I don't know. Okay, exactly. Alrighty, did you guys want to
Yes.
go
Yeah.
and watch the other one?
I wonder if he like had false like documents, about being like a coach and stuff like that. Or, like obviously he had pictures to show proof, probably with other kids that he's coached, but like I wonder how he did it, like to prove like, yeah, I'm good, I'm a coach.
Yeah.
Like
Who
I don't know.
knows?
That's just crazy because like you said, he did have to go through a process to do all of that. You can't just be a
I don't
Well,
think he
no,
fucking
went through
coach.
it.
I don't think
I
that you
don't think
do.
he
Do
went through it.
you?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I'm
you don't have. I
saying.
don't think.
So did he have like fake documents stating he was like a coach or what? Like what was he showing these parents? Or what, like was he just
Hold on, let me
walking up?
Because
Google
from
it.
what I know,
Let
he's
me
not
was
a
he just
registered like a coach in a school or nothing like that. He
yeah.
would just
That's what I'm like. What is he showing the parents just walking up and hey, I'm a coach? Like, you know?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm like. I don't think that you need
yeah.
anything.
And that's crazy.
Yeah, you don't need a degree.
That's really crazy.
Also, recommended coaching certifications. Uh, Evidence of coaching, a certification of a
Yep.
criminal background check. I mean, I guess you do need a certification of a background check, but at the same time, it's like I mean, also too, like, well, look at what what this
Yeah.
kid is saying. The case, that we're about to watch right now, um, and he did speak out,
Exactly.
and they didn't believe him. So, who the hell is really to blame here? Because if kids are speaking out and there nothing is happening, like,
Yeah.
who's really to blame?
Yeah.
You know what I
All
mean?
I gotta say is my kid come to me and the cops ain't doing nothing. No, we gonna
We're
do
doing
something.
something.
Something's gonna get figured out.
That part.
Something's gonna get figured. I ain't
Yeah.
stopping, and I ain't gonna stop coming here until,
You do something.
like, my kid is claiming this. We're doing
You're
something about it.
invest.
We're not just gonna be like, oh, open case,
No,
okay.
you're
No,
investigating.
no,
Jazz is
no. We're
like,
doing,
somebody's dick's getting cut
yeah,
off.
like we're doing
I
something,
don't care.
something.
I don't care.
I ain't just gonna sit there and wait. Like,
Nope.
no, I'm sorry.
It is.
It's just hard. But okay, let's watch this one. This one, when we started watching, I was like, man, like that's
And the shit is that
crazy.
they gotta
But
keep in
hold on,
mind too.
I'm not.
Like there's a lot of kids that are scared to even come forward. And when they do come forward, they're not doing shit
Mm-hmm.
about it.
Yeah,
Yep.
fucked up part. That is a fucked
Yep.
up
Yep.
part, and
Oh,
that's what makes kids not want to say anything after.
yep.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Okay, let me go. Let's watch this one. This one
Yeah.
really was like to me.
Okay.
Okay, hold on.
Tonight at 6 with a one-on-one interview with a boy who says he was sexually assaulted by a local youth soccer coach. Good evening once again, everyone. I'm Colleen Williams.
And I'm Michael Bradley. That coach was arrested for the murder of a 13-year-old boy last week. Mario Garcia Aquino was also charged with sexually assaulting at least 2 teenagers in 2022 and 2024. And police say there may be more victims. NBC4's Karma Dickinson live with an exclusive interview with that boy who says he was one of them. Karma?
Well, yes, more than a year before youth soccer coach Mario Aquino Garcia was arrested for the murder and sexual abuse of a North Hollywood child, another teenager had sounded the alarm about the same coach. That teen shared a story with us, but we do want to warn you this report contains some graphic and disturbing details.
When Oscar Omar Hernandez was found murdered in Oxnard April 2nd, allegedly at the hands of his soccer coach, many were left asking how this was allowed to happen. No one more so than this young man.
I thought it could have been me. I thought, why couldn't the police do anything about my case? And they just left it open. And then it had to get to a teenage boy getting killed. It had to get to that point.
Speaking with the permission of his mother, the San Fernando Valley teen who's asking us to call him John also wanted us to alter his voice and not show his face to protect his privacy because of what he's about to share. He's 17 now, but he was 15 when he says he met Mario Garcia Aquino.
Like he would buy us food, drinks.
John says Garcia Aquino was also his soccer coach. He says the man befriended kids on the team, and he became close with them. That's when John was having hard times with his family, and he says Garcia Aquino offered him work. And at age 16, he went to live with Garcia Aquino and his son, first in Sylmar, then in Palmdale. He says the coach offered him drinks, but he never thought much of it.
It was an orange juice, and
Okay, what, Jess?
Okay, so they just said that at age 16 he went to go live with the coach
and his son.
Mm-hmm.
and the son. That is weird as fuck.
Yep.
I would not let my kid go live with their coach. I don't give a fuck what we're going through. We're gonna get through this shit together at home. The
And not in
fuck?
one location, two locations, Sylmar and then fucking Lancaster. Palmdale,
Yeah, that's a
Palmdale.
trip.
Like what was
Palmdale,
like
yes.
what parent in the right mind would let their 16-year-old go live with a fucking grown ass man?
I would have called the cops right then and there. You better bring my son back home, or I'm calling the cops right freaking now.
Yeah, like I mean, I don't know, like I get it. Like to me, see, that's a little to me because it's hard because I have kids in and out of my
Yeah.
house all the time. You know, like I told you guys, like my kids' friends, like they're they're in like they're teenagers and they're, I have them here all the time. They come to practice and they stay here. Sometimes they'll stay the night, and then like I'll feed them. They'll go home or whatever. But I have a really good
Yeah.
communication with the parents. But if I myself as a parent was having kids like in and out of my house and I noticed that like the kids were kind of like not on great terms with the parents, I'd be like,
Yeah.
you gotta go. You gotta go home and fix whatever it is that you're doing. You gotta go home and you gotta figure it out over there because, like you're not gonna come over here and disturb whatever I have going on here, so you gotta go home and you gotta figure it out before your parents can let
Yeah.
you come back over here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Like my kid wouldn't
That's
even be
weird.
stepped out that fucking door, to be honest.
Yeah.
You got me messed up.
Living with somebody else
Yeah.
at 16, that's a big responsibility that nobody wants to take. Trust me, I don't want to take that
Exactly.
responsibility. Taking anybody's kids. Like, so if somebody's willing to take my kid, just like that, I'd be like, why?
It'll leave
Okay,
you
weirdo,
thinking,
why?
right? Like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I'm like
Like,
curious.
why you want my kid so bad?
I'm curious about the son too. Like, was that really his biological son, or was that like another kid? You never know. Like that shit happens. You get me? Like,
Was the kid an adult as well, or
yeah, like
what
what
was
was
it?
it? Yeah, was it? Oh, this is my son, but he's 25 already. Like,
Yeah,
what the fuck?
exactly. Like you got all that
Yeah,
shit.
that's all like, what the
I don't know.
fuck?
Right.
That is a
Okay.
trip.
Yeah, let's get back to it.
Yeah, get it too. Sorry to say that.
And before I started, his voice, he like you could tell his voice is like cracking. How the fuck would somebody
Exactly.
not believe him? Yeah. All
it
right,
made
let's
me feel tired after a while. Sleepy tired.
NBC has not verified what, if anything, was in those drinks. But in February of 2024, about a year and a half after moving in with Garcia Aquino, John says he woke up to find the coach
pulling down my shorts, and I woke up. I punched him, and then he told me it was all a joke.
He was 16 at the time, and he says it happened again.
I go to sleep. I see him like trying to pull down my shorts again, and it was like 1 a.m, so I was freaking out. I didn't know what to do. I saw my shorts on backwards.
I'm freaked out right now. How do you expect me to?
John called 911 and his mother.
Oh, they have like recording of what he
Yes.
was saying back then.
His shorts were on backwards.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking god. Oh my god.
So I guess this is a recording of like when he first called the cops, like the last time, right?
Yeah.
So we'll hear what he has to say then.
Yes.
But I mean, come on, kid. Like also one time, you know what? That's hard because imagine,
Yeah, it is.
You know when something happens and you know it happens and somebody tries to tell you it didn't
It
happen
was
that
an
way,
accident. Yeah.
and you're like, yeah, and you're kind of like thinking like, man, am I going crazy? Like, do I remember things correctly? Like, damn, something's going on with
Like
my head
tripping,
or
huh? Like
whatever. But all right. Yeah.
That's probably why in the second time he
All right,
was
hold on.
like, this is from the second time.
Okay, you guys ready?
Yeah.
yes.
This is video of that day, February 24th, 2024, when LA County Sheriff's deputies came to the home. John says Garcia Aquino had run away. The sheriff's deputies sent John to the hospital. He showed us the discharge paperwork showing the emergency room doctor diagnosis of sexual assault of an adolescent, positive urine screen for an unspecified drug, and toxic encephalopathy, meaning an impaired brain function. But
And that wasn't enough. That wasn't enough to
Exactly.
arrest him.
Like what? The
What
What?
the
system failed
hell?
this kid.
Hold on.
Yeah, they
Hold on.
did.
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Let me go back because that that was not enough to arrest that guy. Like that don't make no sense. Hold on.
toxic
That what the
encephalopathy,
hell?
meaning an impaired brain function. But John says he's unaware of the long
Oh wait, we didn't go that far.
drug and toxic of an
Oh
adolescent,
shit, sorry.
positive urine screen for an unspecified
You're
drug,
good.
and toxic encephalopathy, meaning an impaired brain function. But John says he's unaware of the law enforcement investigation going any further than that.
They called me speaking about it, but they just said that it was most likely going to be an open case.
Authorities eventually arrested Garcia Aquino for this crime, but they did so just last week, more than 1 year after John reported the assault. A year in which the 43-year-old Garcia Aquino continued to coach boys soccer. The assault arrest also came after Aquino was already questioned in Oscar Omar Hernandez's disappearance. The 13-year-old had gone to visit Garcia Aquino at his home and was found dead 5 days later.
When what happens, it feels like I got ignored. Like if I wasn't a human being. That doesn't sit right with me. What if I'm not here right now? I could have been that 13-year-old boy.
And NBC4 continues.
Mm-mm.
We pause it.
Mm-mm.
He feels like he feels like he's being ignored. I understand the system failed him, but the system is not the only people that failed him.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I have to say it because if my kid comes to me with this and we do the whole police and everything, and the police are not doing nothing about it, well, I'm making a big deal and something's gonna get done.
I'm going on
There ain't no
TV.
way this is gonna be ignored. There's no way this is gonna be ignored, you know?
Yep.
Especially with all the evidence that they had with the positive drug urine screen and everything. This should have been like, all right, we're getting this shit handled because something
Yep.
happened.
I'll go to the
Yeah.
fucking news media. I'll do everything possible, you know?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get
And
attention
this
on
guy,
this.
hey, this guy had a what is it called? He had a preference though, like you know what I mean? Like he had a like a how do you say it? Like when the person likes a specific
Yeah.
looking person, right? Because they both they look very similar.
Yeah, they
Both
did.
boys, they look well. I don't know what the other one looks like, but by the hands and like the body, like the way the camera's showing him and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
my god,
crazy.
creepy. So imagine like,
Yeah, he looks
mm-mm. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead
Okay,
and play.
okay, go ahead.
What? Go
Go
ahead,
ahead, go
Victor.
ahead. Go ahead. I
Okay.
thought it was done. Go ahead.
Okay.
To push for answers from the LA County Sheriff's Department about those cases. Today, they declined to comment on any of the aspects of the timeline of this investigation, saying it has been forwarded to the district attorney's office. Tuesday, though, the DA's office told NBC4 that the 2024 assault case was under investigation until March 25th of this year. That's about a week before Oscar Omar Hernandez was found dead. Garcia Aquino is now charged with the death of Hernandez, the assault of John in 2024, and with another sexual assault of a minor in 2022. That charged just last week.
Tonight at 6.
So that
What?
make, so that makes it a
2022?
total of 3 victims, right?
Yeah.
Because the other one they said he was for North Hollywood, something like that, no?
Yeah, it was
yeah,
three.
well, it was 2022, 2024, and then this one last week, right? Or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah, the
three.
2023 is gonna come out too. Watch.
Mm.
I'm pretty sure if
Did
he
you
was
see that
around
one
kid,
already or no?
there has to be
Oh my god.
what?
That is so creepy. No, that's just so creepy.
It's like
That's a lot.
Yeah, maybe more kids will come
I think they
out.
are.
Hopefully, I hope so they can get the justice they
I
deserve.
I
Hope more kids
I
come out.
personally think that there's gonna be more kids. Um,
Yeah, I think there's gonna be more. Even if it's just one more, but there's gonna be more, I think. There
there
has to
has to.
be. That's so
You know
scary.
what though? Like it is kind of messed up though. Like if you think about it this way, like it is kind of messed up the way that they do. Like I think like I wonder how far back like the way that people or the way the police does investigations and stuff like that. Like I wonder how far it goes. Like
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like the like if they've updated it. Do you know what I mean? Like the way the protocols.
but I don't think it's updated because look at it's not even that much.
They're still
They're
failing.
still
Shit.
failing. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I don't think it's been that long. I would understand if it was like 10 years, okay, but this is
Yeah.
back to back. Like 2020, 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025. Like that's really close by.
Like that should have raised some red flags. Like, okay, this 16-year-old boy was how old was he? 16, right?
Yeah,
The
I
one
think
that
he's
passed
I think
away,
16.
so. No, 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 the one that came that's sober
Lives
now.
with him.
he's 17 now,
I
but
think it
he was
was
15 when he
Okay.
met him.
he was 15.
Okay.
Yeah, he was
So
15.
if this kid came out and like was like, hey, this man did this and this and this, and then they did the criminal, like, I mean, the what is it called, the testing for sexual
Yeah,
abuse, and they came back positive, and then they tested his urine, and then they came back like with like something
that's-
like a little
yeah,
fishy, right, like a substance,
yeah,
you know, that should have at least put some kind of red flag in their system
yep,
where they would have been like keeping an eye on this guy, right? Like,
yep.
but is there a system where they do that? No, I don't think so,
I don't think
right?
so either. I don't think so.
So why don't they do something about that? Like, why don't it, you know what I mean? Like, why
Yeah, like
don't they?
something has to change.
Like
Yeah.
the
And
situation
then
is different because like the report from like the doctors came back that he had been sexually abused, and then the drug screening did contain some kind of drug,
Yeah,
right? So this is a different case. Like that was like a kid saying something happened and then like getting like two things that kind of like coincide with what he was saying. So that should have right there been a like, okay, this is a red flag. Let's keep an eye on this freak, Just a little
yeah,
monkey.
this
he
freak.
is a
He
freak.
is a freak.
He is a freak.
He is a freak.
I
A
would have got
twisted
the
little monkey.
attention. Okay, the question is, do you guys blame the parents for letting him go with an adult? I think the parents are at fault as well.
I think they're at fault as well. As
As well.
well. Not just them, but as well.
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't know.
I
I think
wouldn't.
like
Yeah, go ahead.
I think that there should have been some kind of communication, like, hey, you know what I mean? Like at least something, like
Well, with the coach, why are you gonna send your 13-year-old son,
yeah, like if
like
my
have a
kid,
communication with the coach? Well, let me talk to him and let's see what's going on, Maybe we can work something out. I don't know.
Not even
yeah,
like that. I would trust them with my kid.
No, I'm saying like I'll take you, we'll all have lunch or something, it's your coach, whatever. But for you to go alone is kind of
The
like,
whole
why do you have to go
the whole
alone?
purpose
What
supposedly
is the
the kid
reason?
went was to help him paint.
oh, the one that passed away, right?
Oh,
That's what you told him.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah,
like,
damn. So
but
he
can't you
like
paint yourself? Like, what do
I
you
like
need a
painting
kid with?
too.
But
I like
okay,
painting
even at
too. Can
that
I
though, the
come?
parents could have been like,
Can you invite
"What the
me?
fuck?" Yeah, I would have been like, "What the fuck you mean you're gonna go paint?"
No, I
No.
like painting too. Can I come?
¿De cuándo acá
Yeah,
eres
like what the fuck?
pintor?
Okay, then I'll go
Y yo le voy a
too.
decir, ¿cuándo quieres
Let's all
pintor,
go.
cabrón?
Well, what the fuck is it's
I'll go.
crazy. Like
Let's
I
all
would
go.
never. It's just the miles and being away. Like you knew he was gonna stay over there. Like I wouldn't have trusted him, dude.
You
Yeah, I
don't. You
wouldn't trust.
don't. Like,
It's
you don't
crazy. You
trust
don't
people like
trust.
that.
Nope.
Like, why can't he pick you up? Like, why the fuck can't he pick you up? Why can't he pick you up? Come over here, drive all the way over here, pick your ass up if he really needs help so bad. You know what I mean?
And bring you
First of all,
back.
and bring you back. But like, come on now, like it's far. Like, okay, can't you get another kid in your area to do it? Like the fuck? Like there's kids everywhere.
Another
But
Don't
kid
you
here.
have a son? The fuck?
yeah.
Nah.
It was
Didn't you just have a
Didn't,
son not
didn't
that
don't you
long
have a
ago?
son? Like Jazz said, didn't you? Don't you have a son that can help you do it?
exactly that's true
For
though.
real. What the
Because
fuck?
they said that this 15-year
I
old.
feel like that was. I don't feel like that was his son, bro. I feel like that guy was not his son. I don't think so.
Well,
And where's
allegedly,
the
we don't
son at
know.
now?
We don't know.
Where's the
Yeah. I know. But my opinion, like, nah, that motherfucker was already a weirdo. So
and where's the son at
yeah, I don't
now?
know. I don't believe it.
Yeah,
Yeah, like what the fuck?
because the son is
Where's
probably
he
a
at?
weirdo
So
too. Let's keep an eye on that guy.
Exactly.
Just
Like
saying. I'm just saying.
literally.
He's you know he had to see some shit.
yeah, or he probably went.
Once
He
again,
had to notice.
Or what
Yeah.
about if
once
he's been
again,
through some shit too?
exactly. But you know what though too, like also like I can't like it sounds bad, but I'm not gonna sit there and I'm gonna say this like that's like the whole like, oh well I was abused too, so I went on and I did it to somebody else. That's bullshit. That's
That's bullshit.
bullshit
Yeah,
because it's like there's so many people that have been through horrible crap and they don't go around doing horrible crap to other people. Like so that's bullshit. Like if you
Yeah.
yourself feel like you need help, go fucking get help. You know what I mean? Like don't go around like fucking hurting other people that have nothing to do
yeah.
with the situation. You know what I mean?
Like, why would you want to
So
put somebody in the same pain that you went through?
yeah, exactly.
Like,
And some
why?
people don't
Like,
think like that.
exactly. So I don't know. These people, I don't know. I feel like the parents are at fault because I wouldn't allow nobody like my kid to go 70 miles. I would. I'm very strict on who really does take care of my kids. You guys, like big time,
Yeah, me too.
big
Big
time.
time.
Who are my kids are around? You know
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's
Me
mostly
too.
that part too. The who my kids are around. 'Cause
exactly.
I don't think I'll ever leave my kids with anybody. So it's more like who my kids are around. Because I know I'll
Yeah.
never
Sorry,
leave my kids with
I
anybody.
went to go mute. I went to go mute because I needed a burp, and then I burped and then I muted.
Oh my god, I
Sorry.
didn't even notice.
Me neither.
But yeah,
Like, 'cause I was talking.
But yeah, this is crazy. We're gonna see
sorry, Jazz.
later
I
on
interrupted
too.
you.
We're gonna see later on if more victims comes. I feel like there is gonna come out like I hope not, but I feel like there is gonna be more victims because he was a traveling coach.
So
Yeah,
okay,
that part.
so Jazz,
Yes.
I know you struggle with this because you're like a single mom, right? I know you
Ye-
struggle with this like heavily. You have to, like, you have to. Do you not feel because you're very young? Like, I think you're 30 years old, right?
Yeah.
So that is very, very, very young in my eyes, right? I feel like girls your age right now are like, enjoying their life, going out, they have their parents watch the kids, whatever. So I know that you have to struggle with this a lot and see other people who have kids just go out on the weekends, go drink, go have fun with their friends, da 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 da, right? You
Yeah.
sometimes feel like, fuck, that could be me, but no, instead I'm here taking care of my kids, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Like sometimes, like,
so
damn, I could have went out. You know.
so doesn't this make you feel a little bit better?
Oh yeah, it always is because like as I grew up, my mom was kind of well, she was a top next level above me, like strict, but like I used to hate it. Like she wouldn't let me sleep over at my friend's house or anything like that. So
Hmm.
now that I grew up, I'm like kind of realize now like why. And then me and my sister were actually talking about it last time, like kind of grateful that my mom didn't really let us do all those things. Like didn't let
Yeah.
us because
And
we hear stories from our other friends and stuff like that. And as we grow up, we're hearing the stories and we're like, what the hell? Like,
Yeah.
we never went through
hmm
that, and stuff. So yeah, kind of
and the same thing
yeah,
for you, Cynthia, right?
Yeah.
yeah. I'm always gonna be like that. I think. Like I fuck
Yeah.
it, I'll have fun next time, or something, or there will be a next time, or I'll just
Yeah.
vibe out on my own at home or something.
It's
Like
like
I don't
Polly
know.
tells me
So
if you ever want to go out and you want me to take care of the kids, just let me know and I'll take care of the kids. If your mom can't watch them.
Yeah,
Polly
that's
always
good.
told me that.
like for me, I struggle with that a lot because like I think about it. I'm like, I see other people that have their careers going and da da da, you know what I mean? And they're like doing all kinds of stuff with their life, but their kids are like stuck in daycare, right?
Yeah.
And then like you see like all these horrible things. Not so that like this whole thing that just happened with the little, boy with this 13-year-old getting murdered and sexually abused or whatever is one thing. But then you hear about like all these horrible stories about like these kids in daycare. You know what I
Oh,
mean? Like who get like not only sexually abused, like killed or like other little kids,
Like
that are
hit.
getting abused at home.
or
Yeah,
getting
right?
mistreated, you know?
Exactly. And then I think about it and I'm like, dang, maybe I shouldn't be so hard on myself because my kids are good. Like no
Yeah,
matter what, my kids are good.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I
Yeah.
don't know.
yeah,
I was very taught from like since I was young. Like none of us were actually none of us were in daycare. Like any of like my grandma's grandkids, my grandma just watched us all. Like
yeah,
Yeah.
she would rather just watch us all. Like my grandma didn't do the whole career and everything. She rather just like took care of all of us. Like I don't know. It was crazy, but
Yeah, but that's like your grandma was like an old school grandparent. Like nowadays, now grandparents nowadays, they don't want to watch the kids. And I'm saying it
yeah.
from experience because like you know what I mean? Like
you want to be going
well,
out
I don't have a
too,
mom,
huh?
but
No, I'm just kidding.
They
fuck
want to
no,
be
not going
killed.
out. But it's like not going out, but like not going out. But like I mean, at least come on. Like they say, like they say this generation has the suckiest grandparents because yeah, they'll come, they'll spoil your kid every once in a while. But then like when it comes to like, okay, can you watch them because I got to go to work? Bye.
Yeah,
Oh, can you watch them? Because I want to go on a date and bye. And I personally experienced that where like I can't, like, I don't do nothing because like my kids are still little and like I don't
yeah,
have nobody to like watch them.
yeah,
Yeah, I
So
feel
that's
you.
different. Like today's generation of grandparents kind of sucks, low key.
Well, let me
yeah.
just tell you, the next gen. This is off topic, but the next generation of grandparents are all gonna have BBLs.
Yup,
Mm-hmm.
yup.
Fuck yeah. Yeah. Oh my God.
And that's a fact, though. Let's keep it
It's
real.
true. Look at how like you're right. My grandma was like an old school grandma, and now like it's changing over the fucking years. Like, you know,
Not only Señoras trying to look all young and
they're
shit
gonna be all yeah. Like by the time, yeah.
with their deformed butts.
That's funny.
Oh man.
That is off topic, but it is a topic that is true.
But yeah,
That is
that's
true.
crazy.
That is
I just
true.
want yeah, I wanted really to talk about this because yeah, who do you trust around your kids? Who do you trust? Like you can't trust just anybody. That's my thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Let alone
That's
a grown ass man inviting your kid to go to his house to help him pay. Like you got me fucked up.
And this is
like,
something
oh
like
yeah, you
that's not
said
the
we
only
pay somebody.
thing.
Huh?
What happened?
Like, oh, that fool can't pay somebody to help him fucking paint or what the fuck?
Exactly.
That's what I was telling you guys earlier. Like your guys' kids, like I love your guys' kids because they're your kids. Like all my friends who have
Yeah.
kids, like I will when I barbecue here and then like all like my friends like come over with they bring their kids. Like I love their kids, because they're my friends' kids. But
Yeah.
to be around other people's kids who are the people I don't really know, I'm like, "Oh, I don't want to be around your kid. So when
Yeah.
I automatically see somebody who like wants to be around other people's kids, I'm like, you're a weirdo. You're a weirdo because who the hell wants to be around other people's kids? Like, I know damn well
Yeah.
I don't like other people's kids, so that's weird.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Just not.
yeah.
Like if we're keeping it real, really.
It's like another adult trying to be around other people's kid is kind of weird.
It is weird.
That is.
It's really
Yeah, it
weird.
is. Yeah, I feel you.
Like it's one thing for the kid to be walking by and then the person runs into the kid. Oh, I'm sorry, mijo. Oh, here, get up. Oh, are you okay? Da da da. All right, bye. Then off they go. They never see that kid again. Okay, that's one thing. But for you to be like, let me go play in the jumping house with the kids. Let me go
Oh
play
yeah,
tag with
that's
the kids. Like
weird.
that's
No,
weird. Like
another red
you're
flag
weird.
is like always wanting to have the kid on your lap. I don't know
Oh
if I'm
yeah.
just
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just me, but if you're not the mom or the dad, not even
Yeah.
grandma and grandpa. Honestly, I'm not even like that with grandma and grandpa either. Like if you're not mom and dad, like they shouldn't be on your lap.
Yeah, no
Like
kid should be
Hmm.
sitting in nobody's lap.
fuck no. That's like a big thing for me. And then I did get a lot of crap about being like that from my ex in laws, but I don't care, because nah, I'm not gonna just why you have my kid on your lap? No. Like
Well,
no.
dude, I'm gonna tell you this. I never really knew why people said that, but my son's grandmother had told me before, when when my son was getting older and stuff like that, she would always have a thing about that. And I always wondered why. I never understood why. And I had asked her, like, oh, like, is it really that big of a deal? Well, she had told me that her and her sister had both been sexually, like, assaulted. Well, they had been molested while they were sitting
Oh
on
wow.
somebody's lap. I guess they were wearing a
Yeah.
dress. They were sitting, this was like way back in the
Yeah.
1920s or whatever. No, not really that long, but you know what I mean. It was a long time ago. So she was like saying that, yeah, that how back then the little girls wore dresses or whatever, all the little girls wore dresses. She was like, they were sitting down, the guy was playing the piano or trying to play the piano or saying he's going to play the piano, whatever. And then like the little, she would have them sitting on the lap and he would be over
Yeah.
there like,
Yeah,
groping
that's
on them as
crazy.
they were sitting on the
Yeah.
piano.
It's yeah.
And ever since you told me that, I was like, oh, hell no. Okay,
Now
I
you
get
get
it.
it why, huh?
Yeah, because I'm not
Now
trying
I
to
get it.
sound
Yeah,
gross, but
that
it's
is gross.
easy for them when they have like that, in that
Yeah.
situation. And it could be a quick look away,
Yeah,
like you can look away for a quick second and it'll
yeah.
happen. So I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just the type like I'm a big ass helicopter mom, and I'm always gonna be like that. But because I don't know,
Yeah.
because like this, like people don't even look like pay attention to the red flags. Like what the hell?
Well, did you guys see that video about that guy that said, I guess, like, they interviewed him and then they interviewed and they said, what do you look for when you're trying to, like, sexually abuse a kid? Did you guys
No,
see
I
No.
that?
haven't seen that.
Oh my God, you guys have to watch it. Here, let me see if I can find it. If I can find it, we'll go ahead
Okay.
and we'll play it. Okay, let me see.
Yeah, guys, I don't know, but that is, yeah, I don't. Nobody had my kids in their lap. If it wasn't me or dad, nobody's gonna have nobody of my kids on their lap. You know?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, like that's, I mean, not honest. And to be honest, like, honestly, when your kid goes and sits on your lap, what do you say? Get the
Yeah.
F off me! Like, oh my God, get
I
off me! Like,
know for
you know what I mean? So if
real.
another person's trying to,
So
I know
what
right?
if
this is
somebody
fucked
Come
up,
on,
but
come
yeah,
like
on.
I'm like,
get
why are you
away,
sitting on me? Get off.
motherfucker?
Yeah, and if a person's trying to sit, and if another person's trying to sit, trying to sit my kid on their lap, I'm
And
like,
not complaining, huh?
I don't even. Right. I'm like, I don't know. All right, I'm
Okay.
gonna go ahead and show
Okay,
this,
fine.
okay? This will be like, so this is like literally what the guy said, right? I guess it's like when he's looking for somebody like a victim, like this is what they look for, and I guess a lot of people have talked about it, and it's
All
very,
right.
very
Let's see.
terrifying. So give me a second. Hold on. Let me share it. Can you guys see it?
Oh
Yeah.
my god, he looks like a creep.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he does look like a creep, but
You could tell, like,
I
just the
could
way
he
he
even
looked.
tell.
he even he even
My
talks
sister
like
even
one.
tells me, "How do you
He even
notice?" No,
talks
I
like
could
one.
tell.
You could tell before. Oh, so he's a
How did you
convicted.
get
Okay.
Yeah, he's a convicted child predator. So he is a predator, and it's not like they think or somebody accused him. Like he is, and he knows he is. So, but yeah, they do. I don't know. People just have like no souls, I guess, right, Jess? When
He's
you look
like
at them, Cynthia,
mental health.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's weird.
and yeah, you're like, something's
Yes.
wrong with that person. That person gives me the creeps. All right,
Right.
I'm gonna go ahead and play it.
how did you get them alone?
Grooming. I would check out their family situation. I would check out their clothing to see how well they were, financially. I would check out their social interaction with other kids. When we were on the ballparks or on the gym floor, I would make sure which ones I wanted to molest. I would give them special attention, congratulate them, talk to them when I know that I would never.
Okay, the way he said when I would look at the ones that I wanted to molest, like that is
It
so
is
That
creepy
is
to
weird
me.
as hell.
That is
He
so
knew his fucking
creepy.
victim.
Yeah,
weirdo.
Like, what the fuck?
yeah, fucking weirdo.
Congratulate.
And the ponytail too. That's a weird ponytail. No, I'm just
I
kidding.
can't
Oh my
stand
God, creep.
Mookie.
Hold on.
Yeah, the ponytail.
He has a molester ponytail.
Them, talk
Hold
to
on.
them when I know that I would never be allowed to talk to anybody else. Aside from everybody, I would give them the attention that an official is not supposed to give anybody. And it made them feel like, wow, he's paying me attention. It is a direct form of grooming.
Were there certain characteristics that you looked for in children before molesting them?
In children, yes, but more I also looked at their families. If I thought the father was a threat, I would not approach the child. If I thought
You best
that
believe
the
you better
child
not.
Just
What
his
happened?
look right now, he looks like a fucking creep.
He said, like him saying that if the father, like if he was scared of the father, like that fool
Look at
wouldn't
the look.
approach. That's fucked
That's
up.
what I say. That's what I say.
Which
I
is
always say this. I tell this to everybody. You have to
Yeah,
love your children so much that nobody could come in and show them extra affection where they would feel special. Like you need to make
yeah,
sure your kid feels special by you and you only, and that's it. Because if anybody else can make them feel special, automatically your kid is a victim
yeah.
right then and there.
yeah, that's true.
So it's crazy.
That's crazy. Like, how do you think he feels saying all these things? He's so
And it's like he looks
weird.
at how the
Like, what he's
household
saying.
is. That's
Yeah.
okay. Let's go.
Okay. Let's play it.
that the child had friends that he would tell, I would not approach him. If I thought the child had friends that were in the same capacity he was, I would approach him. For the simple fact that if I could molest him, I could lure him into believing, grooming him into believing that he would enjoy it. And therefore, I could manipulate him into having his other friends come and be molested by me as well.
So perhaps a child that doesn't really have a whole lot of friends.
That is creepy, huh? Can you
A group
imagine?
of
Oh, that's
friends. Oh
crazy.
my god.
That is so
Mm-mm.
creepy. You guys have never seen this
Never.
before?
No, I've never seen this.
Oh
No.
my God, I seen this and it gave me, oh my God, I was so like, darn it. Okay.
Maybe not really a strong family, things like that.
Yes, no spiritual values, um, weak in education, you know, needs help in many ways, even from split parenting, has a mother who may be having problems with the family, well, here comes superhero in to help out, wow, well, thank you very much. No problem. You ever need me to take them away for the night so you can have a night out? No problem.
What the
That is a
fuck?
big
Yes.
one. That is a
I
big one.
know.
That is a big one. That is a huge one. That's what we were just talking about, Jazz, because like I was telling you, Jazz, because well, I say Jazz, Cynthia, because I know like, if you needed the night out, you could just ask
Yeah.
Polly. But like Jazz, like, if her mom doesn't want to watch the kids and she really needs a night to herself, like, and then she has another person like, oh, hey, I'll watch the kids for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Jazz is not that dumb, but there is a lot of people that are like, oh my God, I desperately need a
Yeah.
night out. You know what I mean?
Like, hell
Can you
yeah,
imagine?
okay, I'll just put him to sleep for you. Fuck it, and then I'll just go. Like, no,
Hell
what the
no.
fuck?
Right?
I can't do it.
That is so
I
They
just
look.
wouldn't be able
creepy.
You
to.
could tell like he looks like a weirdo. The other coach looks like a weirdo.
He looks like a straight weirdo.
Like
You know what though? You'd be surprised though. Like, yeah, you can tell like by some people by how they are and stuff like that. But then you'd be surprised too, because it's like, looks can
yeah.
be deceiving. It's just hard. It's just really hard.
Yeah, it
People are just
is. It is hard.
weirdos.
And this is an
You have
old
kids.
man
It's
already. Like
hard.
what the fuck, you fucking weird prick.
I know. It doesn't feel weird to talk about
I
this.
would
Like,
feel
what the
weird to talk about. I wouldn't even want to be sitting down with him in that same room.
I wouldn't even want to be
I don't
like
know. I don't know what
seen.
the dynamic of this interview was, to be honest with you, and I would like to look into it because I want to know why the hell it happened. Why he spoke out about it. I would like to know, but I really don't know the
That's
dynamic of it.
weird.
That
That
is
Yeah,
is
you
weird.
just
weird.
can't trust your kids with nobody. You, I'd rather just not go out.
Right? He's a
For
drunk at
real, I'd rather
home.
just not go
I'll
out.
get
Yup.
drunk at home. Wait till they fall asleep. And I think that was
Exactly.
I think that was the end.
No,
It works.
yeah, I think
And
that
it
was it.
works, he
Yeah,
says. That's crazy.
it does. That's why, like, I
That's
really, really, I am a strong advocate for that. I'll tell you guys again, you have to love your children so much that nobody else can make them feel special because, nobody else can make them feel any type of way because here comes, Uncle Sam over here trying to be,
Yeah.
big brother or whatever the fuck. And nope, not gonna happen.
And abuse is not only done like sexual abuse is not only done by men. There could be
No,
ladies.
yeah.
There could be ladies as well. Grooming kids.
Yeah, I've been hearing the stories about the teachers. I'm
Yeah,
like, damn, fucking little
it's just
nasty
not.
ass corn dog
It's not just
ladies.
men.
Damn.
The same way there's men. There's females doing the same shit.
Okay, so let's talk
Yeah.
about that. Okay, because you see, like, have you ever seen like those teachers that like have gotten arrested for like, sexually abusing like these 15-year-old boys? And
Yeah,
what do the guys say? Oh, older men. What do
yeah,
they say? Ooh, I would have loved to have been that 15-year-old
yeah,
boy, right? That's so
yeah.
gross.
It is.
That is gross. They're like condoning that shit. Like, what?
Hmm.
I think like the worst story that I've seen about that. What about the teacher that had the two kids by the student?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. You're speaking about that. You're talking about that.
I
He
forgot
was
his
like a
name.
Hawaiian boy, right? He was like
Yes,
native, like he was like, no, what
he's
was he?
native. I
Like
think.
Pacific Islander.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, that
that
happened like
one.
a long time ago, right?
Very long time ago. It's crazy. See, abuse is not just men. Women do the abusing as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. When I read those stories, I'm like, what the
Yeah, and,
hell?
and like I recently seen one that had happened, but I didn't even clip that because I was gonna watch it, but I didn't even clip it.
Like, just imagine you say the older men that be like, oh, I would if I was at that age, whatever. Just imagine how many kids are like teenage boys or whatever, or even girls. I'm not gonna say just boys are okay with being with their teacher and shit.
Yeah,
That's a trip. That's a trip.
Yeah.
Like what?
it's just crazy. I don't.
Yeah. It is crazy.
Yeah, yo no sé, pero yeah, this is a topic I wanted to
Definitely
talk about
scary.
because it is. We all have kids.
Yeah.
We all have kids, and a lot of people that like. What are your guys' thoughts? Like watching, like, what are your guys' thoughts about this? We want to know your
Yeah,
thoughts.
that shit's off the wall
Yeah,
type
Yeah.
shit. Like what?
Yep.
I don't know.
Mm-mm. It is
Mm-mm.
crazy. No, I just trip out. Like, you know
I
what?
do. It leaves you
They
thinking.
do. Yeah, it does because honestly, like I think about it, and I'm so thankful about I'm so like I always tell you guys that I had like a really fucked up upbringing, but I
Yeah,
am very very blessed that I did not have weirdos in my
yeah,
family. I did not have no uncles that were weirdos. I didn't have no like all my uncles were decent. My dad, as messed up as he was, but he was like a decent dude. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
I just think that some people are not as lucky as I am, to like not have that happen. But you know, it's just crazy, and the system is really messed up. Like the system is really messed up. Like I told you guys a couple of summers ago, I was in the process of like adopting this little girl where her dad, I guess, was her dad had been molesting her, and I think her dad had been doing drugs. That's what I think. I'm not too sure exactly if he had, if he didn't or whatever, because he was never drug tested. But um, the dad would be drinking with his friends and getting all like drugged up. He'd be out like late at night. Then he would come home and make the little girl watch like PORN and pretty much like grooming her, you know? And the little
wow,
girl ended up getting tested and she came up positive for chlamydia, I believe it was. She ended up coming up positive for chlamydia.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And the
that
only
is
one that had
wild.
really, exactly, the only one that had access to her was the dad, and the grandpa, and then, a couple of uncles and stuff like that. But when she came to like the grandmother's house, the grandma had questioned her about it, and she looked really tired, and the grandma was like, "What's going on, Mija? You look really tired. Like, what's going on? Like, are you not getting enough sleep? Is your mattress not comfortable?" Because the grandma's a good grandma. Like I'm pretty sure if the pillow was an issue, she would have bought her a pillow. If the mattress was an issue, she would have bought her a mattress. Whatever. And she was just saying, "Oh, my dad parties, and he comes home late at night and he keeps me up with him, and the grandma was like, oh, okay, that's a red flag, but she really didn't think anything about it, right? And then, whatever. And then like a week or two later, the little girl came over and I guess she had been itchy, down there. And, normally, I guess, I don't know how chlamydia works, but I don't know if you don't get itchy or I don't know, but it's like, I don't know what it is. But so the grandmother had, oh, maybe you just need to take a bath. So when she took off her underwear, she noticed that, there was a little red on the underwear. So she was like, what the hell? So I guess right away, she was like, what the heck is going on? She has a rash. Let me take her to the emergency room. She took her to the emergency room. Protocols are that I guess they have to do like the swab or whatever. So I guess they ended up checking her out,
Yeah.
and her test did come back positive for chlamydia.
Wow.
And yeah, they did come back positive for.
Wow, that's
I know,
crazy.
right? So check this out. They did come back positive for chlamydia. So then when she had been talking to the little girl, the girl kind of like mentioned like little things here and there, but she kind of didn't want to get too much into it. So, the police got involved in all of that, right? And then they went through the whole process. So the little girl, she doesn't really talk to a lot of people, but she does talk to me. And, she did mention to me that her dad would make her watch that, and that was like putting two and two together. You knew that dad was doing something, right? So a few years later, the grandma gets custody. Yeah, so ended up happening where like I wasn't able to get custody of the little girl. The grandma was able to get the custody, so it's better that she stays with family. So she went ahead and she went with family, which is awesome. And now the dad is fighting for custody. But check this out, right? Because the grandmother was very proactive and like everything happened like so fast. The social worker wrote in the report that the grandma had been coaching her, right? Just because the grandma had been asking her questions. I guess when something happens, you're not supposed to ask questions or like talk about it or whatever. So because the grandma did ask questions, the social worker wrote down that the grandmother had been coaching her, and because of that, like now the dad is able to kind of fight for custody of the little girl. And in my head, I'm thinking, what the fuck? The system is so flawed. Like it's
Yeah.
so fucked up. They have the STD samples, right? So how is the grandmother coaching her? Like that don't make no sense, right?
Exactly.
It's fucked up.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
It is.
Did the dad get tested as well?
Well, the way that it played out, it's like, yeah, the dad was tested, but from the time that the little girl got tested and everything played out, because so when the little girl went to go live with the grandmother, pretty much the child protective services took the little girl, right?
Yeah.
And because the way that the arrangement was made, where the grandmother had the dad had the daughter, um, the grandmother willingly said, you're the father, you should be raising her, that's your kid, so then the daughter went to go live with the dad.
Oh man.
So when the STD thing was done and that happened, CPS got involved right away. And the little girl was supposed to go back to the dad's house, right? And because CPS got involved like so fast, they don't know, well, we don't know if he was like, oh shit, they found something, let me go get tested, let me go get it taken care of before shit pops up. And then a month later, 2 months later, that's when the court ordered him to get an STD check.
Oh shit.
That's fucked up, right?
Yeah. They should have done it
And
there
it's
and
like,
then.
how does that happen?
Right away, yeah.
Yeah, but I guess they have to go through a
Like right at
process.
then.
Yeah. So the system fails a lot of kids.
Basically,
The system fucks. Yeah, that's messed up. The
yeah,
system needs to change.
something needs to be done. But at the same time, too, like look at your
Yeah.
case, and they were like CPS got called on you.
Yeah.
Like if you go and you look at the statistics for how often CPS gets false reports, the number is really high. I had
Yeah,
told
it
you the
is.
number, I forgot what it was. The number is really, really more than half of the calls that they get are fake calls from people who are mad at their neighbors, mad at their brother-in-law, sister-in-law, cousins, whatever the fuck. People just be calling CPS for no fucking reason,
Yeah,
Bitter. That's what it's
right?
called. They're
That
and that's
bitter.
part.
messed
Yep.
up. Because when there's a child
Hmm.
that really needs it,
Exactly.
nothing's
Nothing's being
done.
done.
They
Yep.
just discard like, well, okay, whatever. They'll go to the one. Okay, this. Let's go there. They like kind of like fuck, like pick and choose which one they go to, right?
Yeah.
I would
Yep.
say,
Yeah. And it was done because like when so when the lady was going through the whole process of like the court, trying to get custody of the kids,
yeah,
she had her oldest son living with her, which is, the girl's uncle, and there was there was like a cousin living there as well, right? So
yeah,
the cousin had to move out in order for the little girl to, be allowed to live there with her, right? But back at the dad's house, the dad had the grandpa living there. The dad was living there, and then they had a back house which was like slightly connected to the main house, and there was like two other guys living there, and then like um there was like two girls who had boyfriends living there as well. So it's like, how is it that that you're kind of being picky and choosy about where the little girl can go depending on how many people live there, but then over at the other house there's like a bunch of grown men who, because the house is slightly not connected to the house, it's like an
yeah.
issue,
Oh wow, that's really sad.
yeah.
That's really sad. That
That shit is.
it just
Yep.
leaves you thinking like, damn, these people, this system, these social workers is like, fuck.
But that's why people keep doing shit,
Yeah,
honestly.
that's why
Like
kids
that's
get
why.
abused. Not even just sexually abused; they get physically abused. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah. Even like mentally,
verbally,
even
mentally. Yeah,
verbally, like all this.
they get ¿cómo se llama? No les dan de comer. ¿Cómo se dice?
Yeah, they
They
starve them.
starve
Starve
them.
them.
They like it's a lot of crazy shit.
Yeah.
I understand disciplining your kids, but when you're abusing, like that's something different, like, and they don't do nothing about it.
Yeah, and then there's people that just like go get, and then they just sign up for the whole entire like adoption thing. You know how like taking in foster children
Yeah,
just to get the money from it,
yeah, because they don't even
right?
treat them right sometimes.
Exactly. They just like, okay, like they get all this money for having the kids there, but then they freaking don't even buy the kids like clothes.
Yeah,
They like buy them like the bare minimum,
but they're living it up.
right?
Yup.
So funny.
For real, that's just crazy.
I don't know how people it's so crazy to me how people think. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I could never. Fuck
Me
though.
either.
I could never. If you're gonna take care of foster a kid, you're gonna foster a kid because you want to. You're really gonna look out for them because they're already going through whatever fuck they're going through, and then to still come to foster home and get treated like that, like it's kind of sad.
Like I think you have to be a foster parent because you want to change like a kid's life.
Yeah,
Like you want to make a difference in somebody's life. Like that's why you go into the foster system. That's why you get into fostering kids. But if you're just in it for like the extra income, because they do
no,
they do give like the money's like it's good. It's pretty good.
yeah,
But if that's not what you want to do, why the hell would you even take on the responsibility? Because you affect the kid's life so bad,
yes,
and you don't even realize it.
yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
This is a crazy subject. It's just so many stories, so many everything like happening. It's
I
crazy.
I
I
get
don't know.
so sad every time I hear about it. Every time I hear about another case or another child or something else that happened, I get like so
Yeah,
like, damn, that's like, the hell's that?
yeah. About what was that?
It's like a buzzing outside my house. It sounds like a scooter or something. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
I don't know, you guys, but you guys gotta keep an eye out on your kids. Who's around
yeah,
your kids?
yeah.
No,
You
for
can't trust
real.
people around your kids.
And always listen to your
And
kids
Yep.
Jazz,
when they're telling you.
you Jazz. You
Yes.
be careful also because you are, it's, I cannot see myself going, because I have a 4-year-old, you know? I could not see myself going out on the dating scene and meeting like a random person, you know what I mean? And having them raise like my little
Yeah.
kids because it's like you hear of all this crazy shit, Jazz. Like, so, for you, I would just be like, oh my God, be
Yeah,
careful.
most definitely. That's why I always say, like, I'm not trying to date right
Yeah.
now.
And
That's the
that's a
thing
good
right
thing.
now. Because my kids are way too
Yeah,
small for that shit right now. Because, anybody could just hop into a relationship and be with the next,
yeah,
I'm really not even trying to do all that. Because my kids are really small. Just like Bookie's saying, like, my kids are
yeah.
still
They are.
small.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard, yeah. It is definitely
E-
hard, though. I can
Even
tell you
if you
that.
do
It is.
date someone, like you don't bring them around your kids. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't even
Yeah,
have to
you don't
bring them
bring
right
them around
away.
your
Yeah, that's
kids.
also like one. Yeah.
Well, like
So
I used to do this thing where like when I would make like online friends, well not like I made a lot of online friends, but like when I first went on YouTube, like at first when I first started making my presence known on YouTube, I didn't tell anybody I had kids. I told everybody I
yeah,
didn't have kids, and when everybody found out I had kids because somebody outed me that I had kids, they thought it was weird as hell that I lied about not having kids, and I'm like, no, motherfucker, it's weird that you're trying to fucking know whether I have kids or not. Like, why are my kids any of
yeah.
your damn business, you know?
Yeah, it's true.
That's your
Like it
personal
shouldn't
life.
even
You don't come in
matter.
here. You don't come in here telling everybody, "Oh, I have kids." I fucking
Yeah.
yeah,
It doesn't make me more relatable, you know?
yeah.
Very
Crazy.
true. So yeah, for everyone in that's watching, if you guys have kids, nieces, nephews, little primas, little cousins, even the little primos, just be careful. Keep an eye out because you
If you
never
see
know. You
something,
might
say
notice something.
something.
Yeah, like you never know. You might notice something that others are not noticing, and that might just help the whole situation. So, like Bookie said, if you see something, say something. No
Yep.
No,
matter
it's
what
true.
issue it's gonna cause, well, no matter what issue it's gonna cause, who gives a fuck? Because you might be
That
saving
will
some.
something, and you don't think, and I still think about it to this day. When I was like 16, we had a family party, and then like I had a cousin who was younger. She was like maybe like 7 or 8 at that time. And we had like one of the family weirdos was calling her to the back, right? And I was like, and she was going. She was over there walking over there, and it was like a family member, not my family member, but it was like a family of some family, you know what I mean? And he was calling her back there towards the back, and I seen it, and I was like, I was like, I called out my cousin's name. I said, where are you going? And she's like, oh, so and so's calling me. And I go and I peek, and sure enough, that guy was calling her. And I said, you don't go nowhere when nobody's calling you back, nowhere. I said, go back inside. And I went back inside, and he gave me like a dirty look.
He
But
was he was
I
mad.
think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looked at me like, oh, what the fuck? Like, I
You
didn't do
yeah,
nothing. Weirdo.
yeah.
I
So
bet
those
you
are
everybody was
Weirdo.
already all fucked up, huh?
Yeah, everybody was drunk.
yeah. So he was taking
That's what they
advantage.
wait
He was gonna
for.
take advantage.
Yeah,
And
that's
Like when he
what
took up
I
those
still
bells.
think about it to this day.
Nobody's paying attention right now.
yeah, everybody's
Mhm.
all fucked up. Nobody's gonna think nothing of it.
Yep.
That's wild.
That's the most scary thing.
Good thing you were there, Mookie.
And I sometimes I want
That's
to
what,
ask my cousin if she remembers, but if she does, I don't want to kind of like I don't want to taint her memory about it, but I
Yeah,
do want to ask, like, do you remember when that happened? But para qué? ¿Para qué le muevo?
yeah. Nothing happened. So
yeah, you're gonna stir it up. Yeah.
yeah,
He
nothing
was a
happened.
weirdo,
So
Yeah,
dude.
it's crazy.
yeah, people are weird. You know what? I
That's why like I wouldn't
it's a
even
trip because I remember
get
when
in
I used to
trouble.
live like in HP over there by Maywood. We used to live in these apartments, and it was a trip because I was young, I didn't even trip on it, whatever. But there was this dude that would live like in the first apartment in the downstairs, and now that I remember, like he would always be like masturbating in the window, dude. When like the kids were outside, bitch.
What the hell? How do you know he was doing
Really?
that?
Because it's now that I'm older, he was right there in the
You know what he
window,
was
dude.
doing?
Like in the window with his pants, literally his pants down, bitch.
What the hell?
Yes,
And when you're
even though
little,
that
you see things
chiquita, we don't
differently.
know, you know.
Yeah.
And now that I'm grown, like I really think about him like this motherfucker, you know.
Cochino,
That's why,
puerco,
yeah,
marrano.
puerco. He was a fucking marrano,
Yeah, that's
dude.
gross.
That's why we would ding dong dishes, door and leave.
He's oh, there's kids at my door.
I
Let me
know.
take off my
Remember that?
pants. Kids are knocking. Let me
He's
take
like,
off my pants.
ooh. No, I'm
And there
just
was a lot of
kidding.
kids, so I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that noticed that shit. I'm pretty sure other kids seen it, but wouldn't say anything, you know?
Well, you see, so you honestly like you see like you don't know, you don't realize the innocence in kids. Okay, so like I'm gonna sound so nerdy right now. So there's like this book that I really really like, right? And I read that book when I was like in like fourth grade, right?
Yeah,
And I read it and I thought, oh, it was fun. It's about kids playing. It's about kids in the neighborhood playing, right? And then I read it again when I was like older and I was like, oh my God, like what the hell? The little
yeah,
girls in the book were wearing high heels and the men were like calling their names, calling them like, oh, calling them like catcalling them, right? And the little girls kept saying that they felt so fancy in the high heel shoes, right? And as a little girl, you read it and you think like, oh, they feel fancy, whatever, you know? But as an adult, you're like, oh my God, those guys were being fucking perverts watching the little girls walking around in high heels,
yeah,
you know? And it's like, it's
yeah,
crazy that you don't see the innocence until you get older. You're like, oh, damn, kids are innocent.
exactly.
Kids aren't innocent.
Yep. And I don't know, I think I was like I don't remember if I was like fifth grade or something. I don't know. It was when I was young. And it's 'cause we lived in some apartment complex.
Yeah,
So yeah, fucking sick motherfucker.
that's nasty.
It is.
That is fucking
Hell
nasty.
yeah, that's nasty. That's gross. But it's like you
Mm-mm.
don't think about that when you're little because you don't know, you know? You don't
Yeah.
know. So I don't know.
But just look how the other guy said, like how he would find his victims.
Yeah, yep.
But yeah,
You-
I don't know. I just wouldn't trust anybody with my kids. I know.
No, it's hard.
That's like,
Yeah,
Hard.
yeah, it's definitely hard. Like even like when I'm like, oh, mom, watch one of my kids, and I'll take the other one, like, because I do that. Like I'll take one of my kids out,
yeah,
sometimes, and I'm still like the whole time like, oh, what is he doing, or what is she
yeah.
doing, or like I still get like nervous about it, even though.
All right.
But yeah, So we appreciate everyone that came in to hang out with us today. Um, just be on the lookout for the next video. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and share if you can.
I know this was a iffy topic for a lot of people because I know
Yeah,
nobody likes to talk about this stuff, but it is really important that we get the conversation going just because you don't know who might be at home listening
yeah,
to a lot of the stuff and like, hey, that guy was kind of weird at the park the other day or whatever,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is. It is.
Yep.
It's like,
It's cool. This was a good
yeah.
topic,
That was
Cynthia.
a really good.
I agree. It might open eyes for a lot of people. You
It's just
never
that
know.
little
And
topic's been iffy on my mind, like the news and everything they're saying and how the parents allowed that kid to go. Like, no, 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 no. That
mm-mm.
that shit
And
don't
if
fly
you
with me.
And if anybody that's listening right now has like a funny story about like an innocent story when you were little, something that you thought was innocent, and then like now that you think back at it, you're like, oh no, that was kind of creepy.
That was
Feel
not
free
so
to
innocent.
feel free to leave a comment. We'd love to read
Yeah,
it, and the next live or whatever when we get a chance to, we'll go ahead and we'll discuss it as well. Or if you have any creepy stories from any of your weirdo cousins or real weirdo relatives, and you want to share, you feel comfortable sharing, feel free to leave a comment, and we'll go ahead and read. We'll read those.
yeah,
Yeah, for you guys don't want to leave a comment and you guys want to leave it anonymous, don't forget you guys can always email us. Our email is on the bio.
yeah. You can.
And we will leave it anonymous if you guys want us to leave it anonymous.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
And
Yeah.
leave us your thoughts and comments on the video of what you guys
This
think
was-
about it, like the conversation, the topic. I know you guys want us to get into like real serious topics, and I felt like this one was a good one.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was.
And what was the boy's name, Cynthia? The little boy's name? What was his name? Omar, right? Omar?
Yeah,
Okay, so his name is Omar Hernandez. Wait, was it Omar or Oscar?
I'm not even sure, girl. I forgot.
Okay.
I think it was
Um
Oscar, or I'm not sure.
Oscar
Uh,
Hernandez, I believe.
yeah, Oscar. Yeah, hold
Um,
on.
Make sure to say his name, say his name, speak his name, because, this story is like, it is a big thing, and it's something that we can't just, the little Mexican boy or Hispanic boy or whatever. No, his name was Oscar, and, you know, um, his name, needs to be said.
Yeah.
Yes, rest in peace to Oscar. My condolences to the family.
Keep everybody in prayers,
Imagine
everybody
him.
that was affected by it, poor little boy.
Yeah, all his friends, his friends
His
too.
name is Oscar
Oh yeah,
Omar
We should-
Hernandez.
Oscar. Okay.
Oh, Oscar.
Omar Hernandez.
Okay.
Yeah. So hashtag Oscar Hernandez.
Yes.
Rest in peace.
Yes, you guys.
Well, that was it. That was enough for today. Thank you guys for sticking around with us. I know we talk a lot, and
Yeah.
we are very much mamonas, but this was a really serious topic. As much as we would like to laugh and joke around, this was like something that Cynthia felt really strongly about.
Yeah, I did. I felt like
Yeah, it
we
was a
needed
good
to speak on
topic.
it.
We appreciate everything.
Yeah, it was
Cause
good.
cause we all
Yeah,
have kids.
it
I
was,
know
it
we all
was a
have
good
kids
one.
in the chat. Some of us have kids, some of us don't. Some of us have nephews, nieces.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean, either way, if some people don't have kids, like either way, they're bound to have like little nieces,
yes,
little nephews, little
that's
primos,
what
and
I'm
all that
saying. Yeah.
stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that was a good topic,
Just
Cynthia.
always
Yeah.
listen
I
to
liked
them.
it.
Don't shush them away. Don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Kids
you
need
guys.
a safe place.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well that was it for
Yep.
today. Thank you guys so much for listening.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys. See you guys on the next
Y
Bye.
no
one. Good
sean
night.
mamonas.
Las
No sean
mamonas. Y me la
mamonas.
pelan.
Bye.
La pela.